Hello students, I hope you are all doing good. Now let's start with the today's topic, that is homogeneous mixture. We have discussed in the last class about the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture and their differences. That how homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture are different. Homogeneous mixture are what? Which have a uniform composition. We can say uniform composition. Uniform composition means that the particles of the components are uniformly distributed, right? Particles cannot be seen and even at the same time does not settle down. So these are the homogeneous mixture. Now you have seen an example was what? Example was salt plus water, sugar plus water. We have seen that the sweetness of the sugar or the saltiness of the salt is equally distributed in all layers of water. You can't find any variation in the saltiness or the sweetness. Now tell me, this homogeneous mixture, this salt, are they soluble or sugar, are they soluble? Yes. So remember, whenever you are referring a homogeneous mixture, whenever you are referring the homogeneous mixture, you have to remember that the components get dissolved in it. That the mixture that has been formed, that whatever you are adding in another substances, that substances get dissolved. So here the components in homogeneous mixture, okay, let's write in a better way, that in a homogeneous mixture the components are soluble. There is no homogeneous mixture in which the components are not soluble. If it is not soluble, then it is heterogeneous. But if it is soluble and at the same time uniform composition, then we call it as a homogeneous mixture. So remember this term, that whenever you are talking about the homogeneous mixture, the component should be dissolved in another substance or another matter. Now this homogeneous mixture, do you know how they are referred as? We don't always call it as a homogeneous mixture. It has some common term, and that common term is what? Solution. So the homogeneous mixture are often referred as what? Referred as solution. Where you have heard about the solution, that sugar solution, salt solution. This is because the homogeneous mixture, we are referring the homogeneous mixture, that this solution is homogeneous mixture. So we, in a general term, we refer this homogeneous mixture as a solution. And at the same time, you know that in this solution it consists of two components, that is solute and solvent. We know that in a solution it consists of two components, that is solute and solvent. And we also know what is solute. These together, solute and solvent, give us what? Solution. No two solute can give us solution. No two solvent can give us solution. One has to be solvent. If there are two components, then one has to be solvent and another has to be solute. These together, solute and solvent, give us solution. Now comes to the definition. We know what is solute. Solute is a substance in which it is present in a lesser amount in a solution. Since solution is equal to solute plus solvent, so in solution the solute is present in a lesser amount and it get dissolved in a solvent. And what is solvent? In a solution, sorry, I have to be very careful with this solution. Sorry for this. For the solution, for the solvent, it is present in what? It is present in a maximum amount. So we know that in a solution, since solution contains solute plus solvent, solute is present in a lesser amount and get dissolved in solvent, and solvent is present in a maximum amount in a solution and in which the solute get dissolved. So this is the homogeneous mixture, and what are the components that present in a homogeneous mixture or a solution. Now let's understand this. So now we have understood that in a solution is comprised of two components, that is solute and solvent. Example is salt plus water. Now tell me, in salt plus water, which is solute and which is solvent? Since we know the solute is present in a lesser amount, now tell me, which among these two, which we add in a lesser amount? We add salt. We don't add salt in a maximum amount. We add salt the amount we need, the amount we want to taste, right? So it is present in a lesser amount. Since it is present in a lesser amount, we can call it as a solute, and this salt is dissolved in what? Solvent. Now since what is then in among these, which is solvent? This is solvent, because water is present in the what? Maximum amount, and in this where the salt is get dissolved. For example, now we have always see that আমরা সবসময় বলি যে নুন জলে গুলে যায়, but have we ever said that যে জল নুনে গুলে গেছে? No, we don't say that. না আমরা এটাও বলি না যে চিনি জলে গুলে গেছে, বাট আমরা এটা বলি না যে জল চিনির মধ্যে গুলে গেছে, এটা বলি না. The vice versa is not true. So here, since water is maximum amount, here water acts as a solvent and it is acting as a solute. Now tell me that among solute and solvent, what is their state? What is their state? It is solid state, it is a liquid state. Is this necessary that solution in a solvent, it should be always liquid and solid has to be always solid? No, because we know there are three states of matter, right? We know there are three states of matter, and these three states of matter, the solvent can be solid, liquid and gas, and even the solute can also be solid, liquid and gas. It is not necessary that solvent has to be liquid and solute has to be solid or liquid. It can be any matter solution. Since depending upon the solvent, depending upon the nature of the solvent, that in what state that solvent has been taken, the solution has been categorized. There are three types of solution depending upon the solvent, in which state you are taking the solvent. Since there are three states, so there are three types of solution. Solution depending on what? Depending on the state of the solvent. And what is that? First is solid. The first is solid solution. There are three types of solution, that is solid solution. Second is if it is liquid, if the solvent is liquid, we call it as a liquid solution. And if the solvent is gaseous, then we call it as a gaseous solution. So you can see here that depending upon the solvent, state of the solvent, the solution has been categorized into three, that is solid solution if the solvent is solid, liquid solution if the solvent is liquid, and the gas solution if the solvent is gaseous. Now we will see, and among this solution, the solute can be anything. Solute can be solid gas liquid, here also solid gas liquid, and even the gas also solid gas liquid. Solute can be anything, and each solution I can give you the example. So let's see. So we have seen how solution has been categorized depending upon the three states of solvent. So solution has been categorized in what? Three type of, that is depending upon the three states of solvent, that is solid solution, liquid solution and gaseous solution. in where the solid solution, solid will be acting as a solvent and the liquid will act as a solvent in liquid solution, and a gas will act as a solvent in gas solution. But again, this solution has been categorized into three types depending upon the three states of solute. Solute, because I told you it is not fixed, the solute has to be solid only, liquid only. It can be any three states. So see, again this solution has been categorized in three types. Each three type of solution has been categorized in three types depending upon the three states of solute. That is, what are the three states? That is solid, liquid and gas. Here also solid, liquid and gas. Solid, liquid and gas. See? So as you can see, since solution is categorized in three, again these solution is categorized in the further three. So here we can say there are 9 binary solution. Better to say 9 different type of binary solution. What are 9 different type of binary solution? Solid solid, solid liquid, solid gas. So liquid solid, liquid liquid, liquid gas. Gas solid, gas liquid, gas gas solution. So these are all 9 different type of binary solution. And what are the example of this solution? If we take, suppose we are taking a solid solution where solid is a solvent and solid is a solute. What are the example? Example is alloy. Alloy is a homogeneous mixture where the solid is a solvent and solid is also solute. What about solid liquid? The solid liquid is amalgam, sodium. Amalgam means, here amalgam means mercury. Here amalgam means mercury, and we know mercury is liquid. So liquid, mercury liquid is acting as a solute and the sodium is acting as a solvent, that is solid solvent. And what is a solid gas? Solid gas is gas adsorbed in metal surface like palladium, platinum. So this is also another kind of a solid gas solution where gas is absorbed. That here is a metal surface and gas like O2 gas, any O2, CO2, NO2, these gas get absorbed, interact with the metal surface and form what? Form a homogeneous mixture of a solid gas solution. What about a liquid solution? Liquid solution has been categorized into further three depending upon the three states of matter of the solute, that is solid, liquid, gas. So what are the example? For liquid we don't have enough. For a if a liquid solvent is a liquid and a solid is a solute, what is salt plus water? That is common example. What about the liquid? Alcohol or ethanol. Alcohol and ethanol, we can say these alcohols are what? Alcohol is a liquid also and water is also liquid. And liquid gas, soft drinks, thumbs up, cold drinks, 7-Up, these are all what? These are all the liquid gas solution where carbon dioxide get dissolved in the soda water. What about the gas solution? Again it is categorized in a solid, liquid, gas, and each has an example. For a gas solid solution, the example is camphor. Camphor means copper in nitrogen. In a nitrogen gas, if you put a copper, that is also another kind of solution. Gas liquid, gasoline, air. Gasoline in air. And what about the gas solution? Gas solution example, common example is air, where air itself is a homogeneous mixture and the solution of a gas solution. Now you will be asking here, you know, in air which is solvent? In air the solvent is N2 gas, because remember here that solution is comprising of a two that is solute and a solvent is present in a maximum amount. And you know, we have all learned that in air nitrogen gas is present in a maximum amount. Since it is present in a maximum amount, so N2 is what? It is a solvent, and other two gas O2, CO2 or any other carbon monoxide, these are all solute. Got it? Solute can be, it is not necessary, it has to be only one solute. It can be two more solute, because whenever you used to make sharbat, remember in a sharbat what we used to add? We used to add a lemon, salt, sugar. These are all what? Solute. This solute we add in a water. So see, there are three different solute we are adding. So not necessary that solute can be always only one. It can be more than one. Now comes to the different solute depending upon the solvent. Now the solvent has been again categorized, that is depending upon the nature of the solvent, the solution has been categorized. Nature of the solvent, the solution has been categorized, that is aqueous and non-aqueous. Now you will be asking what is aqueous and non-aqueous. We have heard about this one or two more times, but aqueous, which solution should we call aqueous and which solution we should call non-aqueous? The non-aqueous solution, for aqueous solution, if solvent is water, then we call it as an aqueous solution. Like salt water, we called it aqueous solution. Sugar plus water, see water, here water is acting as what? Acting as a solvent. So where in the solution, in the mixture where water is acting as a solvent, we called it as aqueous. But what about the non-aqueous? You can see that there will be no water in it. So here the solvent is liquid, is any liquid except water. So if a solution will contain in a solvent which is in a liquid state but it is not water, then we call it as a non-aqueous solution. The example can be, what are those liquid we can use other than water? That can be benzene, carbon tetrachloride, CCl4, chloroform. These are all liquid acting as a solvent. Now comes to the another kind of solution that has been categorized depending upon the nature, depending upon the amount of solute you are adding. That is amount of solute. The solution has been categorized. First it was categorized on the basis of this state, right? States of matter, states of the solvent. Again the solution has been categorized based on the solvent you are using. That is the nature of the solvent. If it is water, aqueous. If it is non-water, then we call it as a non-aqueous. Now again that solution has been categorized depending upon the amount of the solute. That is concentrated and dilute. Whom should we call dilute solution and whom should we call concentrated solution? Because we all have come across this kind of term, that concentrated and dilute solution. That is, a solution is called to be a dilute solution if the amount of solute is relatively less than solvent. Means we can say the percentage of the solute is very low. And what about the concentrated? The concentrated, if the amount, since if it is a dilute where the amount of solute is less, then what about the concentration? The amount of the solution we can understand. The amount of the solute here will be relatively high, or we can say the percentage of the solute is high. So again we say here we can see that if the amount of the solute is varied, if the solution has been categorized and categorized into what? Concentrated and dilute. Whom should we call concentrated? The concentrated we should call which are where the amount of the solute is high, and whom should we call dilute? Where the amount of the solute is relatively less, or the percentage of the solute is very low, right? Now comes to this, how we will calculate the concentration of the solution. See, the concentration, you have to remember that the concentration of solution always depend on solute. The concentration of solution always depend on solute. Always depend on solute. And depending upon the concentration, depending upon the amount of solute, we can calculate the concentration of the solution. Let's see how it is calculated. Now let's calculate the concentrations of the solution, that how we will calculate. We have told you, I have told you that concentration of the solution solely depend on the amount of the solute you have taken, because we will calculate, because the concentration always depend on the depend on the solute, amount of the solute taken. Now we can calculate the concentration of the solution in a two ways, that is mass percentage and volume percentage. Mass percentage and volume percentage. What is mass percentage and what is volume percentage? Here the quantity, the magnitude that we will take in the form of what? In the form of kg or gram. And the volume means where we will take the magnitude, we will take the amount or the quantity of the solute or solvent in liter or ml form. So in the volume form, if you are taking in the volume form, then we will calculate in a volume percentage. If you take it in a mass, in a kg or in a gram form, then we will calculate it in a mass percentage form. So let's calculate. If for the mass percentage, that means since it is depending upon the amount of the solute, then what is the percentage formula? We know the percentage formula is octane, total number of octane divided by total number into 100. So now let's calculate how we will calculate the mass percentage and the volume percentage. That is, for a mass percentage you can take it in a two way. There is two way, and for the volume percentage you can take it in a one way. That is where you can take a volume of solute divided by volume of solvent, volume of the volume of the solution into 100. So this is the volume percentage, because as I told you, the concentration of the solution depends on the amount of the solute. So always whenever you are calculating the percentage, the upper part, the numerator part will be always related to the quantity of the solute. So volume of the solute divided by volume of the solution into 100. Now let's calculate about the mass percentage. The mass percentage can be calculated in two ways, that is mass by mass and another is mass by volume. Mass by volume means you are taking the mass solute quantity of a solute in a grams, but the quantity of the solution in a volume, then we will calculate it in a mass by volume, and where the quantity of both the solute and the solvent is in a gram form, then we will calculate it in a mass by mass form. So let's calculate, since depending upon the amount of the solute, always the solute part will be above in the numerator. So here the mass of the solute divided by the mass of the solution. And what is the mass of the solution comes from? The mass of the solution comes from equals to mass of the solution comes from mass of the solute plus mass of solvent, right? Because together, as I told you, these together make a solution. So then the mass of the solution will be also the mass of the solute together of the summation of the solute and the solvent. So now comes to the mass by volume. In a mass by volume, since as I told you that it can quantity of the solute is in a gram, quantity of a solution is in a volume form, then ml form, that is liter form, we can calculate it in this way, that is mass by volume, where the formula is mass by solute divided by volume of solution into 100. So this is the three ways by which we can calculate the concentration of the solution by calculating the percentage. By getting the percentage of the solute, we can tell whether it is a concentrated or whether it is a diluted.